You just sprinkle them in. Whatever else you're playing, just put harmonics in there too. This is Future Riffs. I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about harmonics. So, I'm going to show you 3 different types of harmonic exercises today. These are things I'm really hoping you guys can sprinkle into your playing. I think they're really cool, they're really flavorful. I'm going to end up making a ton of food puns, it sounds like, but stick with me here. So I'm going to show you 3 different types. We're going to do left-hand harmonics, which would be standard harmonics. The first ones everybody learns, like maybe if you've learned how to play them at 12th fret, or 7th fret, or 5th fret. I'm going to show you how to tap harmonics as well, which will involve some left-hand work, but the harmonic will actually come from you striking the string. And then I'm also going to show you right-hand harmonics where you can arpeggiate them by playing the entire harmonic with your right hand. Cool. Let's start at the beginning. So harmonics are these phantom notes that exist on every string instrument, and they might exist on woodwind instruments and things like that too, but guess what? I don't play those instruments, so I don't know. But I know where they are on guitar, so I'm going to show you where they are on guitar. Let's start with those left-hand harmonics because it'll be the easiest, and it'll kind of be the intro, and you're probably already familiar with a bunch of these. So I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to go up to 12th fret. And typically when we talk about playing at 12th fret, we mean the space in between 11 and 12, and that's what we refer to as frets. But for our harmonic, I'm going to actually play on or above the metal fret. If your guitar is properly intonated, your harmonic should sit right on top of the 12th fret. So I'm looking at my double dots on a Fender Strat today, and I'm going to go to this metal fret here. Okay, I'm going to hover my finger over the string just enough that it's touching it, but I am not pressing it down at all. So the string is not making contact with the fret. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just hovering my finger and just touching the string. So no pressure on it at all. And then my harmonic will come right out when I pick it. And you'll notice I can remove my hand afterwards. The string is spinning in an opposite polarity, which creates this harmonic, and you don't need a placeholder for it after you hit it. Now, and I can go all the way up 12th fret and play all of these harmonics. All the way through. Now, the basic positions for harmonics are 12th fret, 7th fret, and then 5th fret. When you're practicing through these harmonics, you're going to notice... Sorry, let me try that again. When you're practicing through these harmonics, you'll notice that they're harder to play the closer to the headstock you get. It involves the length of string that's being affected. So trying to get that 5th fret E string harmonic to come out, that little high one, that might give you a lot more trouble than playing the same octave note at 12. But just keep working at it. I would definitely start your exercises at 12. Just playing around with those harmonics. Then move to 7. And then eventually 5. And I'm doing these exercises on a clean channel on my pedal board today. but you'll get more luck if you add a little bit of gain. I just wanted to give you guys as crystal clear audio as I could, and I also want to do my best to expose any mistakes I make, because I want you guys to see them and hear them. I think it's kind of important to know that some of these little techniques don't come incredibly naturally, and I'm going to mess up a little bit on camera doing them. So I figure a clean setting on a crispy Strat will do it for this. So left hand harmonics. You hover your finger over the fret, the physical fret. You pick with your right hand that individual string, and then you're able to let go, and it'll ring for a really long time, especially if your pickups are hot. And then, of course, like I said, if you have gain, they'll go for a really long time. They'll be really easy to achieve. Now, harmonics don't only exist at 12th fret, 7th fret, and 5th fret. Those are just the most common spots. So when you're practicing, that's a great spot. But if you try to hover your finger over any fret, and even some fret spaces, so in between frets, you can still get harmonic sounds. I use 4th fret harmonics pretty often. They're a lot harder to squeeze out, and typically it'll take either a really brilliant guitar that has a bunch of great resonating properties, or a really good gain tone to get some of the harder ones to squeeze out. But that's it. That's left-hand harmonics. Start simple. Start with one note at a time when you're learning them, and then try to group them together and lightly strum them the whole time, adding no pressure on my left hand. That's it. Okay? So now let's look at a slightly more complicated technique here. We're going to check out tapping harmonics. The really cool thing about tapping harmonics is that at this point, you're able to start manipulating them. So instead of doing the exact same exercise that we just did, but we're tapping, I blocked it with my own hand. See, I told you guys, mistakes. Let's get this high one. Ooh, there it is. We can actually do some really creative things here. So refer back to me saying harmonics exist at 12, 7, and 5 as far as frets go. If I add a chord on my left hand, I just have to do some simple addition to find where my new harmonic is. So if I'm tapping with my finger on 12th fret, but I want to play an E minor chord, I can still tap my harmonics. I just have to tap up 2 frets from where my fingers are. So I am now at a standard E minor chord, which is open E, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, B, and E. All I have to do is follow that same diagram up here. So when I tap 12, I'm tapping 12 because that string is open. Now, for the A string, because I'm holding down 2nd fret, if I want to tap 12, I need to tap 14, because that's 12 above my 2nd fret. Now, you can get really creative with these exercises, because now you can throw any type of chord you want and follow that diagram. So let me try, just going to attempt this. We'll wing an E minor to a C major 7. So let's see what that sounds like. So we'll go E minor. And let's go to C major 7. So kind of a cool technique. Now, you may not like the jarring tone of slapping the fret with your right hand, doing that punching technique. And if you haven't spent a lot of time finger tapping, it might not come to you very naturally to really hit that fret and get off of it. That's a big, important thing. I didn't really talk about the right hand portion of that. When you're tapping the fret, you have to recoil really quickly. It's all about letting that string ring freely. You don't want your finger to hang out there at all. You'll notice when I hit these strings, I let my finger get way away from it right after I'm done. so that it can really, really ring. And it still gives you a little bit of that kind of woody tone of your guitar. You get a little bit of the original note even, but it's just such an awesome texture, and you really can use it. Some of my absolute favorite players, like Steve Vai, use this technique all the time. He'll fret a chord, like an A chord, and then he'll slap that second fret, that 14 up here, and get all those notes to kind of come back out, which is such a cool thing. So he'll turn it into a rhythm and get those types of notes, which are really, really cool. But if you don't like the sound of that hammering, or you just really don't like the hammering technique in general, there's another option, and I love this option. This is actually one of my favorite techniques to surprise people. If you want a good guitar shop technique, and you know what I'm talking about here, when you sit down at the guitar shop and you recently learned like a fresh lick that you really like, and then you play it for, on that new instrument you're trying out or whatever. It's like a pseudo show-off thing, but it just makes you feel good because you're working towards something good. This is one of those techniques that will catch the passerby's eyes a little bit. Right-hand harmonics. Right-hand harmonics are typically done with your pointer finger pointing at the harmonic, just like you were with your right hand, where it's hovering. You're not pressing down the string at all. And then you use your thumb. You try to get your thumb as far away as you can, but you use your thumb to actually pluck the harmonic. So the original technique, I was doing this. Now, I don't need this hand anymore. I can do this. Ooh, hold on. Being messy because I'm trying to show off and not hold the neck of my guitar and it's moving on me. Let me try that again. Like this. Yeah, it's still important to have this hand. It still serves a purpose. Don't let this hand go anywhere. Don't be like me. Now, just like the tapping technique, you can manipulate these harmonics. Grabbing a chord, like I'm going to lay a bar flat across 5th fret, and I'm going to add 9 to the E string. I can now tap a minor 7 chord. Now, once again, I have to do that addition. I'm up at 5th fret and 7th fret, so I need to move and follow my inlays all the way up here to 17 and 19. So I go 17 all the way across, and then 19. Cool. Okay, cool. So those are the 3 harmonic techniques that I'm going to show you today, but all of them have add-ons from that point. We can really get creative with our harmonics. In the intro, I played a riff that used basic harmonics, but I also fretted regular notes. So I was able to get chord voicings that have harmonics in them. Like this is probably my favorite G chord, holding a G on the E string, and then playing my harmonics on the D, G, and B strings. I'm able to get this super cool chord. And I can also get a C chord this way. Well, it's a C major 7, but still cool. I can get an E minor chord this way if you can stretch. You can do all sorts of really cool things with just the basic harmonic technique if you're able to add some of these additional notes. Now, and then the other one, the right hand exclusive harmonic technique, you can add additional fingers, which I think people refer to them as an arpeggiating finger or a harping finger. I'm not sure the proper term there, but I can show you how to do the technique. Let me grab that minor 7, that flat 5 chord again. If I come up here, I can arpeggiate using my middle finger. This finger, my middle finger, isn't catching our harmonic, it's actually catching the original chord. So I'm able to get these really whimsical, kind of, I don't know, they sound wind chimey or something. They sound real loose. It's really cool. This, You guys heard that? That little mistake there. This chord, oof, sweeten that up a little bit. So that's just using my harmonic hand, or my harmonic pointer finger and thumb, and then my middle finger to do that little arpeggiating. But we're going to cover that in a more extensive video. I'm going to make sure that you guys understand that technique. So from this one, what I want you to take away from it is your basic left hand harmonics, your tapping harmonics, and then your right hand basic harmonics. Start practicing them. Start leaving me comments about when you're ready for the next video. I'm so for it. I love these little types of techniques. I think they flavor up your playing so well. And remember, we're learning all of this stuff so that when you're writing or working on soloing or working on whatever it is that you're doing with guitar, you're able to enhance your playing. But it's every technique that you add just kind of gives you one more outlet to have a creative angle on something. I love it. I love it. I think it's super duper cool. I'm going to keep playing this Strat because it's been quite a while since I've played this Strat, and you guys can go do whatever it is that you do. Maybe it's time to go back from your lunch break. I don't know. I also really want to drink right now. Not like alcohol. Well, I mean, that's kind of early. Soda, maybe? See you guys.